Picture a two-lane county road well past midnight, the kind that goes quiet an hour after supper. A widow lives alone at the end of it, the way a lot of folks out our way still do. 2:30 in the morning, glass breaks in her kitchen. She hasn't got a steel vault. She hasn't got a monitored system with a man in a headset 3 states away, waiting on a phone tree. What she's got is a bedroom with a solid door, a deadbolt that throws a full inch of metal into the frame, and a handful of screws long enough to reach the wall stud behind the trim. She turns that lock, she calls for help, and the boring little door holds. 4 minutes later, there's a cruiser in the drive, and the men who came for her are already gone into the dark. Here's the part nobody selling a panic room once said plain. The Bureau of Justice Statistics tracks this. Across the years 2003 through 2007, there were about 3.7 million household burglaries a year in this country, and roughly 1 million of them happened with somebody home. And when a person was home, the offender was unarmed in about 60% of the violent ones, and the most common way in was damaging or forcing a door. What that tells you is the whole thing is decided in minutes at a doorway by whether that doorway holds long enough for help to come. Time. That's the only thing you are ever really buying. Now sit with that. A $20,000 bullet-resistant door and an $8 box of long screws are selling you the very same commodity. Minutes. One just charges you 2,000 times more for them. I'm Roy Hensley, 7th generation on this ridge in the southern mountains, and I learned most of what I know at the elbow of the man who raised me, out of a leather book he filled, so none of it would die when he did. Hardening a House was in there, 3 pages of it, in pencil. If you get anything out of today, do me one favor and subscribe. Not for my sake. It's that this kind of plain, usable know-how got buried on purpose, and everyone you pass along drags a little more of it back into the daylight. You'll want the next one. 20 tricks today, counted down from 20 to 1. I'll tell you now, so you stay. Number 14 buys you a delay. Most intruders won't stand around and wait out. Number 7 quietly kills the people who do it wrong, and I'll show you how not to be one of them. Number 4 does double duty against a thing that kills more folks in these hills than any burglar ever will. And number 1 isn't a trick at all. It costs nothing. And it's the one piece the $20,000 room can't install for you. The question was never what we lost. It's who got rich when we forgot we could do this ourselves. Let's take it back, starting from the top. Number 20. Pick the right room before you spend a dime. Most folks skip this and ruin everything after. Your safe room is not the master bath with the pretty window. It's the interior room with no outside walls. On the lowest floor you can reach fast from where you sleep. An interior closet, a center bathroom, a spot under the stairs. The National Weather Service has been saying the same thing about tornado sheltering for decades. Lowest floor, small interior room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. Same room solves both problems. Pick it tonight. Walk to it from your bed in the dark and time yourself. That's your whole foundation, and it's free. Because the next thing you touch is the one that actually stops a man cold. Number 19. Trade the hollow door for a solid one. Go knock on your bedroom door right now. If it sounds like a drum, it's a hollow core, a 1/4 inch of veneer over a cardboard honeycomb, and a boot goes through it like a paper plate. A solid core slab runs you about $80 to $140 at the lumber yard. That is the single biggest jump in protection per dollar in this whole list, and I don't say that lightly. The security door companies would rather sell you a $900 unit, and that's fair. That's their trade. No villainy in it, but you don't need it. Hang the solid slab yourself in an afternoon. Now, let's make sure it can't be pried off its frame. Number 18. The $8 screw trick. This is the one your grandfather would have grinned at. Open your door and look at the strike plate, the little metal piece the bolt lands in. It's held by 2 screws, about 3/4 of an inch long, biting into nothing but soft trim. Back them out. Drive in 3-inch screws instead, and the hinge screws too. So they punch clean through the frame into the wall stud behind it. That's a box of hardware for under $10 in about 15 minutes on your knees. You just tied your door to the bones of the house. Most break-ins are kick-ins, and this alone stops a mess of them. Next, we harden the lock those screws are protecting. Number 17, a real deadbolt, single cylinder, not the button in the knob. A proper deadbolt, and specifically an ANSI Grade 1, which is the top residential rating. That bolt throws a full inch of steel into the frame and is built to take hundreds of pounds of force and repeated strikes before it gives, $35 to $60. And hear me on this, get the single-cylinder kind, the one with a key outside and a plain thumb turn inside. Do not buy the double cylinder that needs a key on both sides. In a fire, a locked door you can't open without hunting for a key is a coffin, and it's against code in a lot of places for exactly that reason. Turn it and go, no key every time. Now what about the frame itself splintering? Number 16, cage the strike with a longer box. Even a great bolt fails if the wood around it cracks. A strike reinforcement box, or a full door frame armor kit, is a length of steel that wraps the whole lock area and spreads a kick across a foot of frame instead of 2 inches. $25 to $70, and it screws in over what you've got. The old-timers did the same thing with a scrap of angle iron and a drill. Same idea, same afternoon. That handles a shoulder. Number 15 handles the man who brought a tool. Number 15, a barricade bar you can throw in 2 seconds. A floor-mounted barricade or a good jam bar braced against the door and the floor turns your slab into a wall. The commercial ones are rated in the thousands of pounds and run $15 to $40. This is the piece that buys you time after the lock, and time is the whole ball game. One caution, and I mean it. Never barricade yourself into a room without a way out. A window that opens, a plan, something. You are buying minutes to call for help, not sealing yourself in a box. Speaking of windows, number 14, security film on the glass. This is the one I told you to wait for. If your safe room has a window, or the door beside it does, plain glass is your weakest link. A man breaks standard glass in under 10 seconds. Now put on an 8mm security film, the thick polyester kind, and that same window takes 10 or more hard swings and a full minute to 3 or 4 minutes to breach. And here's the number that matters. Studies of intruder behavior show most give up when entry drags past 3 or 4 minutes. You are engineering a quitting point. DIY film runs about $4 to $7 a square foot. Say it plain, though, it is not bulletproof. A bullet goes right through. It buys delay, not a force field. Next, we let you see who's out there without opening a thing. Number 13, a peephole or a $5 wedge camera. You never open a door to check. A wide-angle peephole is a few dollars in 10 minutes with a drill bit. A cheap wireless camera pointed at your entry does the same from your phone. The point is simple: information without exposure. The alarm monitoring outfits sell this as a $40 a month subscription forever, and for some folks that's worth it. But the seeing part, the part that keeps you from opening a door on a stranger, you can own outright for the price of 1 month of theirs. Now let's make sure you can call for that help when it counts. Number 12. 2 ways to reach 911. A dead phone is worthless. Keep a charged battery bank in the room, and better yet, an old cell phone plugged in on the shelf. Here's a thing most people don't know. By federal rule, any cell phone that powers on can dial 911, even with no service plan at all. That old phone in the junk drawer is a free lifeline. If you've still got a landline, bless you, keep it. It works when the power and the towers don't. 2 ways out by voice, always. And you'll want light to find them by. Number 11, light that isn't a flame. A headlamp and a battery lantern live in that room. Batteries checked twice a year when you change your clocks. Hands-free matters. because you may be holding a phone or a child. And do not, under any circumstance, use candles in a room you've sealed up. That brings me to the one that actually kills people. Number 10, air, and the thing that steals it. A small room full of people gets stale, but that's discomfort, not danger, for the short spell you'll be in there. The real killer is invisible. Never, ever run a generator, a charcoal or propane heater, a camp stove, or a running vehicle in or near a closed room. Carbon monoxide has no smell, and it drops folks before they know they're in trouble. Put a battery carbon monoxide alarm in that room for $15 and a smoke alarm beside it. That's the safety line I will not let you cross for the sake of doing it the old way. Now, from here down, we get into the pieces that turn a locked room into a place you can actually last in. Number 9, the $40 kit on the shelf. Bottled water, figure 1 gallon per person per day, a small first aid kit, any daily medicines in a spare bottle, a spare phone charger, and a loud whistle. FEMA's own home shelter guidance says stock the space so you're self-sufficient through the emergency. $40, 1 plastic tote, done once. Number 8 is what most people forget to put in it. Number 8, something to signal with. A whistle carries farther than your voice and outlasts it. $3. An NOAA weather radio, the hand crank kind, is $20 to $30 and pulls double duty for that storm I keep hinting at. When you're hoarse and scared, a whistle keeps calling for you. Next, we make the room work for the whole household, not just you. Number 7, a plan the family can run in the dark. The best room in the world fails if half the house runs the wrong way. One room, everybody knows it, everybody knows the path, and you've walked it together with the lights off. Where the little ones go. Who grabs the baby? That's the piece the $20,000 installers can't sell you, and it's worth more than their steel. There's a lot more of this than fits in one sitting. I finally gathered the whole of it, everything off my grandfather's pages and 40 years of my own, into a book over at my site. It's the long version there if you want it. That's the last you'll hear of it from me. Back to the list. Number 6, anchor the heavy stuff. In that same interior room, a sturdy workbench or a solid table you can duck under, and any tall furniture strapped to the studs so it can't come down on you. This is where the safe room quietly becomes a storm shelter, and that's no small thing. Number 5, cover against debris. Keep an old mattress, a heavy quilt, thick blankets in that room. In a tornado, flying debris is what kills, not the wind alone, and getting low with something padded over you is exactly what the Weather Service tells you to do when you've no engineered shelter. 1 room, 2 disasters, no extra money. Number 4, know when the room is wrong. This is the double duty piece. Everything I've told you assumes a house with a foundation. If you live in a mobile or manufactured home, the honest answer is different, and I won't dress it up. In a tornado, you leave. Those homes come apart in wind that a stick-built house shrugs off, and no interior closet in one will save you. Have a sturdier place picked out ahead of time and go early. Against an intruder, the hardening tricks still help you. Against the sky, get out. Number 3 is about not advertising any of this. Number 3, let it look like nothing. The panic room folks build a bank vault and then hide it behind a bookshelf, and there's wisdom in the hiding, not the vault. Your reinforced closet should look like a closet. Coats on the rod, boxes on the floor. Nobody clocks it, nobody plans around it. Plain is protection. Now for the one that makes every other number on this list actually function. Number 2, practice and time it. A room you've never rehearsed is a theory. Walk it in the dark, lock included, until you can be behind that bolt in under 30 seconds without thinking. Do it 4 times a year. The Bureau of Justice numbers are blunt. This is decided in a few short minutes. If your 30 seconds is really 2 frantic minutes of fumbling, the math turns against you. Rehearsal is free, and it's the difference between a plan and a prayer. And number 1, It isn't a lock or a screw or a sheet of film. It's the plain understanding that safety was never something you had to buy from a stranger. Look at what the government's own engineers built. FEMA's guide, the one they call P320, first came out in 1998, and it lays out safe rooms rated for near absolute protection in 250-mile-an-hour wind, tested against a 15-pound board fired at 100 miles an hour. That work traces back to a Texas Tech engineer named Ernst Kiesling, the man they call the father of the safe room, who gave his life to it. The point of all of it, the standards, the shelters, this whole list is one idea. The few minutes when danger is at the door you can hold, yourself, in your own house. So who got rich when folks forgot that? The panic room builders quoting $50,000 and $100,000. The bullet-resistant door outfits whose units start north of 20 grand. The monthly subscription alarm trade. And I want to be clear, none of that is a conspiracy and none of it is a lie. Those products are real and a handful of people genuinely need them. It's just that there's no money in teaching you to drive a 3-inch screw, and a great deal of money in scaring you into a vault. That's not villainy. That's a market doing what a market does. And if you bought the expensive version already, you didn't get fooled. You got sold to by people who are very good at it. Now you know the cheaper truth. Don't try to do all 20 this weekend. Pick one. This Saturday, spend $10 on the long screws and swap out one strike plate, number 18. If you've got 20 more, put an $8 carbon monoxide alarm in your chosen room, number 10. Next paycheck, the solid core door, number 19. One thing at a time, and in a month you're most of the way to a real safe room for under $200 total. Now do something for me. My grandfather's whole approach to a house came from his father, who bolted the doors a certain way after a bad night nobody in the family ever fully explained. I'd bet yours had a trick too. A bar across the back door. A particular window they never trusted. A room they'd have sent the children to. Tell me down in the comments what your people did and what corner of the country they did it in. Whichever story lights up the most, that's the one I'll build the next video around and go deep. And speaking of next time, I've been meaning to show you how the old mountain families hardened a house against the cold with no furnace and no power bill. The banked earth and shuttered window tricks that kept a cabin warm through a February that would freeze a modern home solid. That one's coming. For now, the folks who run this place will most likely put another video right up on your screen. And knowing them, it'll be one that sits right beside this. Go ahead and give it a look. I'll see you at the next one.